Hello everyone, I'm Bill Howard, founder of Alex's House, and I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to listen to our vision casting presentation for 2016. A couple of notes about the presentation. As you've already discovered, on the bottom left corner there is an speaker icon. Please click on that for each slide. You'll hear the audio, and then when my voice stops, that's your cue to go ahead and go to the next slide. Thank you so much for taking time to do this. We couldn't be here without you guys, your love and support, so I greatly appreciate it. God bless. So let me tell you a little about where we've been in the past, where we are presently, and where we're going in the future. The Lord called me to Haiti in October of 2009. I had no idea why. The Lord said very plainly to me, go to Haiti, start an orphanage for homeless kids. Go bring them in off the streets. I was a bit like Noah. I had no idea that the flood was coming, or in my situation, I had no idea that the earthquake was coming, but the Lord did. Only 3 months later, January 12th, 2010, when the earthquake destroyed so much of Haiti, there were hundreds, if not thousands, of children roaming the streets of Haiti without anyone to care for them. So for the next several months, we drove the streets of Haiti, finding these children on the side of the road who were desperate, absolutely desperate for care. And then for another year or so, we functioned as a house where people would bring their children. A grandmother or an aunt or a neighbor would hear about us, and they had brought a child in off the streets, but they can't care for them. So they would bring these children to us. So for maybe a year and a half, we were doing orphan rescue. Then for the next 5 years up to this present time, we've been involved in orphan care. God has blessed us with 33 wonderful children. We take care of 30 other children up in another orphanage that we support. And they're one big happy family, and it's been a great blessing to serve them. But still, I've known in my spirit there's still a greater calling. So because God has blessed us in such a great way, because we have so many of you coming on board to help us, God has really increased our vision over the last couple of years. Orphan rescue is wonderful. Orphan care is wonderful. But there's even a greater calling than that, and I believe it's orphan prevention, to where we go out in the neighborhoods and the communities throughout Haiti and invest so deeply in them that the communities are changed, the churches are changed, the schools are changed, the family units are changed in those communities. And we invest so deeply in them that these children who would potentially be orphans are never put out on the streets to start with. The families, the churches, the communities can rally around those kids and take care of them. It's the same thing what the fire department does. We all think wonderful things of the fire department when they come and put out a fire. But the greater calling is actually fire prevention, teaching people how to never start those to start with. That's exactly what we want to do in our future. We want to prevent orphans from ever being on the streets to start with. Orphan prevention is where we want to go in the future. Next slide. So our new mission, our greater mission, is actually based on the Great Commission, to go and make disciples in the villages across Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and around the world. We could summarize that by saying, go and make disciples in the villages around the world. Key words being disciples and village. Therefore, we thought a great name would be Disciples Village. It tells both who we are and what we do. Who are you? We're Disciples Village. What do you do? We plant disciples in the villages all throughout Haiti and the Dominican Republic. We raise these disciples up to pierce the darkness of their country with the light of Jesus Christ and to help their village advance under the blessings of Jesus Christ. So in essence, what it does for our ministry is Whereas our vision used to just be on our children, of making disciples out of our children, and that will always be a part of our vision. It raises that same vision up now to say, we want to make disciples out of the children and adults in villages all across the country, all across the Dominican Republic, wherever God calls us to be. We want to not just change a child, we want to change a village. We want that village to be set on fire with the truth of Jesus to where it'll change the country. So the vision is just raised to a much higher level. So what will this new model look like? We're going to take the successful model that the Lord has blessed us with and duplicate it all over Haiti. There'll be a disciples village Lanzac, a disciples village Bobancourt, a disciples village in Tufan-Bach. And when I say duplicate it, I don't mean start orphanages in these places, because remember, our vision is orphan prevention. We want to plant 3 people in all of these areas. You'll notice the 3 silhouettes on each of the areas. And we want to plant them as leaders to start creating change in those areas to where those communities, those churches, those schools are stronger to where the children never wind up being put out on the streets. In each of these villages, we'll plant a pastor over the spiritual needs of the community, a principal who will be over the educational needs of the community, and a village director who will give over the whole community, who will be our liaison, and who will be responsible for village advancement. These 3 people will be on our payroll. They will answer to us directly, and they'll be responsible for taking the light of Jesus to the houses surrounding that community. Some communities will be smaller, some will be larger, but they will be responsible for taking the gospel to those communities. Let's look at each one of these positions. The pastor will be the spiritual leader of the community. He'll shepherd the church. He'll be responsible for scriptural-based preaching and teaching. Our Haitian pastors are wonderful men, but they've had very little training. They don't have the resources that we have, the training that we have, the professional seminaries. They just don't have these things. And they are thirsty to learn the Word of God and to proclaim that to their congregations. So the pastor will in all likelihood be a Haitian. The principal will probably be a Haitian as well. They will be over the educational leadership of the community, teaching both the children and the adults, because as you know, in Haiti, many of the adults, the majority of the adults, never had the opportunity to go to school. A very common strategy for educating children in Haiti, according to a local family, is they'll take one of their children around 6 or 7 years old and they'll send them into school for the 1st grade, hoping that child will be able to learn to read and write. After the 1st grade, they'll pull them out. They'll take another one of their children who hasn't had the opportunity to go to school, send them to the 1st grade. Hopefully they can learn to read and write, and then they'll just go through their children like that. But the average family cannot afford to send all their kids to school. So adult education is critical there as well. And then they'll be responsible for developing a Christ-centered worldview, explaining to the people of that village how everything was created through Christ, and it's in Him that we get our life and breath and our being. And then lastly, we'll plant a village director in that community. This person will be the liaison between us and that village. Communication is critical, as you can imagine. They'll give village oversight, be responsible for village advancement, and they'll be the financial director of that community. This person will most definitely be, in the beginning, an American or Canadian or whomever else God gives us. But they will be responsible. They have to be responsible for having computer skills, communication skills, a broader vision than what the average Haitian has had the privilege of learning so far. Now, what do I mean by village advancement? They will see that clean water comes into that community, that there's filtered water that's good and safe and healthy. they'll see that safe roofs are on all the houses there. You know that when it rains in Haiti, we're so grateful for the storm here. But many in Haiti, when you have a big thunderstorm, certainly any kind of tropical storm, those adults are up all night holding up a towel, a sheet, a piece of cardboard over the bed of their babies, trying to keep them from getting soaked by that rain at night. We can change that. There's no excuse for that happening with a country full of believers like we are in America. So we want to be about putting safe, dry roofs on the houses. They'll be about garbage disposal, teaching them how to take care of their community and the blessings that God has given us. And then also microloans, bringing some money into that community to those people to where they can start having a chance to get ahead. I just spoke with Jacqueline, our main cook here at the York House, a couple of days ago. She explained to me the very common process of going to these little banks and getting a loan from a Haitian bank. Do you know what the interest rate is? 53% annual interest rate. Can you believe that? You wonder why can't Haitians ever get ahead? 53% interest rate. And this is in a country where 80% of the people are unemployed. For the last 40 years that it's been tracked, 80% of the people are unemployed. So bringing some source of economic growth in there will be vital for that community moving forward. What will a disciples village look like? And to answer one of our previous challenges, how will we measure if we're being effective? Each disciples village will have 3 people planted in it, as I just mentioned, the pastor, the principal, the village director. We'll know if it's being effective by these benchmarks. Is the Word of God being taught effectively there? Is there good, solid biblical preaching? Do the people have spiritual guidance? The second thing, is there a good, solid educational program there? Are children being taught a Christ-centered view? Are adults being educated and taught the ways of the world, that Jesus loves them, and the spiritual values of life? Is there clean water there in the village? Do we have a filtration system? Are we teaching garbage disposal? Do the roofs in that villages, are they safe and dry? And then this one, I'm so excited about the financial aspect. As I just mentioned, we'll have micro loans going in those communities. And by micro loan, I'm talking about a $25 loan, a $50 loan to help some of these ladies buy enough, get them a basket to go out on the road and start selling some things to help these families have some sort of income where their children don't wind up on the streets as orphans, where they can take care of themselves. But another part of that, my family and I, Wes and Nisi and the children, went to the DR just a few months ago, drove over the border. And it was so exciting to go through that country and see. We went through the first city, and there were rocking chairs, or the first village. There were rocking chairs all out on the side of the road. That particular community, they had a product of making rocking chairs, and they sold them on the road. Drive a mile or 2 or 3 down the road further, and here are men out on the road selling cashews. That community was known for that. On down further, there was a village of people selling baskets. On down further, there was a village, people on the side of the road selling bread. On down further, a community selling rugs. Each community had something that they were known at and had expertise in, and they would go out on the side of the road and sell that. Wouldn't it be an incredible thing in the villages throughout Haiti if we could have people in there working with some commodity, some product that these people could put their hearts and soul into, learn how to make juice, and sell in their country, or even if it could ever be exported. It would be a way for them to sustain themselves, and again, take care of their children and take care of their families. How will a disciples village work? It will be an American church or an international church partnering with a Haitian church and village or a Dominican church and village. So let's say that your church comes and says, we're interested and being a partner for a village in Haiti. Tell us more. We'll be able to tell you how many homes are in a particular village, how many children and youth and adults live there, and how many live in each home. We'll be able to tell you how many people have jobs. We'll be able to tell you what the greatest needs of that community is and how you can come along beside them to help advance the cause of Christ there. And think of what it means for you, for your local church. When people ask you, or you ask yourselves, are we serious about the Great Commission? And you can say, absolutely, we're serious about the Great Commission. So serious that we have a village of people. Maybe there's 100, maybe there's 250, maybe there's 500 people or more in that village. And we have our arms around that village, and we're loving on them and educating them and working along beside them to help restore their dignity and their belief in themselves and their belief in God. And we're helping that community grow closer to Jesus each day and advance. That's a wonderful, wonderful proclamation for any church to make. A very natural question for the local church would be, how much will this cost us? How much do we need to invest in this? Well, it'll cost you prayer, praying daily for the village that you're sponsoring. It'll cost you financially. Every child in a village deserves to go to school. And we ask for educational sponsors for every one of those children to have a daily a meal served to them, a hot meal served to them, and to be able to go to school. And then it'll cost you as far as your time, coming down to help build facilities in that community, help put on roofs, to help educate the leaders, the children, the adults of that community, to help with discipleship. And notice through all of this, I'm saying to help with it. We're not there to do things for the people, but we're there to come along beside them and give them the support that they don't have, and certainly the support that's never been provided by their government. And then this part just absolutely excites me to the core. We'll also ask you to pray for the village director. Pray God's blessings upon him. Pray that he'll be steadfast in the Lord. Some of you will want to support a village director and be a part of paying their salary, because they're down here helping other people. They'll need their salary paid. Some of you will support that, and I'm grateful for you. But some of you will also commission and send out your own village director. Can you imagine how exciting that is for your church to say, not only do we support a ministry in Haiti, we have a missionary from our congregation on the ground in Haiti, working under that umbrella and proclaiming the cause of Christ to a whole village in Haiti. And our church comes around this person and supports them and comes on mission trips and help proclaim the gospel in Haiti. What an incredible testimony and evidence of the Great Commission for the local church. So please pray about that. Whether you're praying for them, supporting them, or you actually send someone out on the ground, you could be part of radically changing Haiti and piercing the darkness of this country with the light of Jesus Christ. And so I pray that you'll do that. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening to this presentation. Thank you for your thoughts and your prayers and your support. We're so grateful that you're with us. And please send me a note. Let me know what you think about this new direction. I would love to hear from you. God bless.